I know I've heard that intro a whole bunch of times now, but it still gets me pumped up every time I hear it. You know what that sound means, man? It is the Vol Bros podcast time. And we've already got some people commenting on YouTube. We really appreciate that. Let's see. Zachary, you are the man. This is commitment right here. I love this. Watch this. Zachary said, I'm here early. I just know we have this one in the bag, you know. Well, you'll notice he's tweeting that during the game tonight. He not tweeting it. He commented at 8:46 p.m. It's 9:30. That is awesome. He was here 45 minutes early, ready to roll. Zachary, you are the man. That's what I'm talking about. That is fantastic. And then he said, "This may be my favorite comment we've ever gotten. I love beating Georgia and everything. I don't care if it's cornhole. I just love beating Georgia. I just want to beat Georgia. That is amazing." At 8:46, 45 minutes early. Hey, if you're not early, you're late, right, Zach? And so, I mean, I love that, man. That is fantastic. Thank you so much. I love
early is on time.
That's exactly right. I'm Evan. This is my brother Rustin. We are two Vol bros who are actually bros, and my goodness gracious, there's so much to talk about tonight. So we're just going.
Yeah, we're going to need about 3 hours.
Yeah, yeah. There is quite some stuff happening. And here's what's even more bizarre. Everything we're going to talk about tonight all happened within the last 48 hours. And so it has been a crazy busy 2 days on Rocky Top. But the first thing obviously was the game tonight against Georgia. And it
was forgettable. Game. We understand you not remembering who it was because it was like they never showed up to start with.
And just so everybody knows, Georgia's head basketball coach is actually Danny White's brother. And so, you know, that's going to be an awkward handshake after the game there between the two of them. But that was not a close game. Rustin, what were your thoughts about that game?
You know, defense travels, defense stays at home, defense is 100% of the time. So, you know, their defense was suffocating. It didn't hurt that Georgia couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Exactly.
But, you know, our defense, especially Zakai's on-ball defense was just unbelievable. And, you know, when you can put tons of pressure on people and score 70 points and hold an SEC team to 41 points, that's a recipe for a really good, really easy night with a lot of reps for a lot of guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, we talked about in the past how Tennessee, they had a stretch there where they, you know, we talk about it's just one of those nights, you know, where they couldn't miss that kind of thing. And we talked about in a previous podcast that sometimes it's just one of those nights where it's the complete opposite and you can't hit anything. Well, after about the 10-minute mark in the first half for Georgia, that was the rest of their night. It was just one of those nights, unfortunately for them, and they could not hit anything. And obviously there is a credit to Tennessee's defense in that. I mean, my goodness, you held a SEC Division I basketball team to 41 points in a game. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's amazing. But part of that was also Georgia. I mean, they missed several wide open shots too. So, I mean, it was certainly not a recipe for success tonight for Georgia. And, you know, Tennessee didn't turn the ball over too much. I mean, they did some. So, I mean, it was a good night for Tennessee.
Only 8. You only have 8 turnovers in an SEC game. You're going to win most of the time.
Yeah. And Rustin tweeted out from our Vol Bros Twitter account, which, by the way, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. He tweeted out the stats for tonight, the scoring line. And that was the most amazing thing. There were like 4 or 5 guys that are all within like 1 or 2 points of each other scoring. So it was very evenly dispersed. And so with that being said, I'm going to ask you our next question, which is kind of difficult in my opinion tonight, but who was your player of the game?
Honestly, I don't think it was even questionable. 11 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds, 0 turnovers, and unbelievable on-ball defense all night. I thought Zakai Ziegler absolutely dictated the game. I thought he set the tone on offense and defense. I thought we didn't look as good on offense when he was sitting. I thought he was just fantastic all night. And you know, during one of the last few games, I think it was Dane Bradshaw said that he really felt like Zakai was becoming the best point guard in the SEC. And the last couple of games, he's really showing it. He just makes everybody better.
Yeah. And what a credit to Rick Barnes for finding him. You know, I mean, here's a guy who wasn't recruited very much at all coming out of high school, and now he's turning into one of the top point guards in the country, especially in the SEC. So,
well, and if he hadn't, he was seen at the Peach Jam down in Atlanta the summer after his senior year. If the Tennessee staff hadn't been paying attention and honestly been willing to take a chance on a guy that honestly shouldn't have gotten signed, kudos to them for saying we don't care what grade he is. That kid can play. We're taking him.
Yeah, he definitely can. Obviously, had a couple real big threes and shots in the game there. Had some beautiful passes and stuff. One not so great shot, but I mean, if you have to take one not so great shot in the whole game, that's pretty good.
0 turnovers for a starting point guard.
Yeah, that's incredibly important. You've swayed me. So I mean, it wasn't like I was sitting here. I mean, we do this every game. We always pick, a player of the game, a play of the game, and give our thoughts about the game. And as I was watching it tonight, near the end of it, I was like, okay, I got to pick a player of the game, and I couldn't think of one. So then I was like, hey, BJ Edwards got some run tonight. He got some PT. I'm gonna pick him. That was exciting to see him get in the game, bring the ball up the court there at the end of the game for a minute and a half. That was exciting. So that was pretty good. But you're right. I mean, Zakai, he probably deserves it more than BJ. But it was good to see BJ get some play. So I think this was an easy one in my opinion. But our play of the game sometimes, and you'll notice. Maybe it's because we're brothers. I don't know. But a lot of times we don't talk about it before the game, but we pick the same play because it's either just like a momentum swinging play or it was just like incredible ball movement play, something like that. I think mine tonight was just really a beautiful play. What was your play of the game?
You go first because I can almost guarantee you we're not going to match.
So mine was the alley-oop to Kamwa in the second half. That was beautiful. And kudos to Z. He placed the ball like perfectly next to the rim. I mean, there wasn't a way that Kamwa could have missed it. The way where Z placed that. Ooh, that was very, very impressive. And so that was just beautiful. Oh, hey, that's what I'm talking about. Zachary said his player of the game is Toby Awaka. I love that. That's what I'm talking about. I thought about saying Toby actually. Yeah, I mean, it was cool. He got away with the travel in the second half on one play, but I mean, he was like bullying people down low, man. It was great. That's a great pick, actually. That was one of mine too. So what was your play of the game?
My play of the game wasn't a play. It was a series of plays in the first half between actually Tobe Awaka, Uroš Plavšić, and Jonas Adu. Notice who's missing from that list. I felt like Olivier came out and looked like he could not have cared less if he was playing basketball tonight. and he drives me insane because he might be the most talented post player in the entire SEC. And he just picks and chooses if he's going to play hard or even show up. And, they benched him. And Uroš came in and played great. Jonas Adu came in and played great. Tobe Awaka came in and played great. And I think it motivated Olivier that when he came back in, he was clearly thinking, I better do something or these dudes are going to start taking my minutes. So
Awaka had a great game.
All of those possessions in the first half with those three guys created the Olivier that we saw in the second half.
Yeah, that's totally fair. So I just put in the comments on all three platforms. We're live on three platforms right now: YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I just put in the comments a link that if you would like to join us on screen, you can. If you choose to do that, you can either have your camera on if you want us to see you on screen, or if you just want to talk to us, you can either use the comments or you can come on screen and turn your camera off like a Zoom meeting. Either way is fine with us. Hey, that's a really good looking hoodie you got there. You can buy that at thevolbros.com, actually. Battered Vol Syndrome Survivor. We survived the dark years, baby. And so we, if you want to join us, you can. Just remember it's a family show, okay? But we're going to start going through a bunch of different topics here. First topic up: Josh Heupel and Danny White both get pay raises in back-to-back days. All right, we actually predicted Josh Heupel's raise on this show the day that we had a podcast, and it was like the day of or the day after Shane Beamer got his raise, and we both agreed there's no way that Shane Beamer can get a raise and be being paid over $1 million more a year than Josh Heupel. Like that, the market determines value, and so that shows Heupel's going to get a raise. Well, yeah, he got a raise. It was a nice little bump for him, man. Almost doubled his salary. So that's pretty good. You go from $5 million a year to $9 million a year.
And we predicted that they would probably match Lane, and it's almost verbatim Lane Kiffin's contract. Even some of the details as far as bonus structure.
Yeah, absolutely. Zachary said those 2 fouls on Euros were ridiculous, but he made up for it. And actually, Zachary just joined us, and so I'm going to bring Zachary on the screen here. Here, I'll take the little lower third off, so we'll be able to see him. I won't cover up his face when I bring him on the screen. Hey, this is exciting, Zachary. You were the first person to ever join us on screen like that. We just came in through the link. So welcome, Zachary. Welcome to the Vol Bros podcast. So just so I know for the future, should we call you Zachary or Zach?
Either one's fine with me.
That's cool, man. I like it. So what were your thoughts about the game tonight?
It was dominant from start to finish. I always love, like I said in the comments, love beating Georgia at anything. As long as we beat Georgia, Florida, and Alabama, I'm a happy man. So I love dominating Georgia tonight.
Hey, it's a good day anytime you beat one of those 3, right?
Yeah.
Especially in football, but it feels good in every sport. Even cornhole, right?
Yeah, even cornhole.
Hey, what are your thoughts about we got a big weekend on Rocky Top the next couple of days. We got the Lady Vols playing UConn tomorrow night, and we got the basketballs playing again on Saturday in the SEC Big 12 Challenge against Texas. What, you excited about those 2 games?
Yeah, on the Lady Falls is going to be interesting. I feel that UConn is down a few players, so we should take advantage of that and come out with a W. And the Texas game, that's going to be a dogfight from start to finish. So no penalties, no bad calls. You know, the refs is always, it's going to be in a ill, and you got to deal with the refs every single game, but
for sure
you can't hold yourself. So
hey, I was proud of Pat Adams tonight. Typically he tries to take over a game and become the focus of everything, and at least have one call that everybody in the gym's going, what on earth is he watching? But it didn't really happen. He kind of stayed to himself and didn't do anything overly crazy, and didn't make any calls that were just completely off the wall. That was unique for him.
Yeah.
Well, Zach, man, we appreciate you joining us on the screen. We hope you keep on watching with us. You're welcome back anytime, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
It's fun to listen to and be a part of.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you joining us. Go Vols.
Go Vols.
That's awesome. Thank you, Zachary. We appreciate it. So our next topic, we were talking about Josh Heupel and Danny White. They got some raises. Danny White's,
Danny's now the highest paid athletic director in the SEC.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, and okay, we had a video about this. We predicted this too just the other day. That Rustin straight up said, yeah, well, they need to pay Josh Heupel, but they also need to pay Danny White. Rustin straight up said that, and here's why. It's because Tennessee is an everything school now, and that is very, very clear. I'm going to share my screen here. So this is a tweet. Rustin actually tweeted this out from the Vol Bros account yesterday. And right now, as of January 23rd, so 2 days ago, look at all of the sports that are ranked in the top 25. Baseball, number 2. Men's track and field, number 3. Men's basketball, number 4. Football, 6th. Men's tennis, 6th. Men's golf, 7th. Men's swim and dive, 8th. Women's swim and dive, 12th. Actually, those two teams just had the SEC Swimmer of the Week and the SEC Freshman of the Week. Softball, 12th. Rowing, women's tennis, they just moved up to number 22. Men's cross country. All of those teams are in the top 25. And there's no way on Monday I'm guessing it's Monday, when the women's poll comes out for women's basketball, there's no way the Lady Vols will not be back in the top 25. If they're not, that's ridiculous.
The only thing that would keep them out of it is if they just absolutely have a no-show against UConn. If they play UConn tight or even possibly upset them, they're absolutely back in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was do you think it's possible for them to go from out of the top 20 if they beat UConn? Is it possible for them to go out of the top 25 to a top 15 team? Can they make that big of a jump, you think?
I think so. I mean, they'll be riding at that point. Again, we hate to keep harping on it, but since the Tamari Key injury, if they beat UConn, they'll be 13-1 since the injury and 9-0 in the SEC at that point, or 8-0 in the SEC. So
you're going to win over the number 4 or 5, depending on what poll you're looking at, UConn team. So, I mean,
right. I don't know how you keep that team out.
Yeah, absolutely.
The SEC, if you look at the women's poll, I was actually looking at this the other day. The women's poll is really sliding the SEC. South Carolina and LSU are in the top 4, and that's it. There is no other SEC school in the top 25.
Well, I'm predicting Monday we'll have at least one more for sure. So, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, and Rustin made a good point. You know, what we're looking at right now, that's not even all of the whole story, because women's volleyball and women's soccer this fall were both in the top 25. So, I mean, literally every sport right now is just thriving. Hey, we appreciate that. Zachary just let us know Mississippi State has a 10-point lead versus Bama right now.
Holy cow.
That is very interesting. Thank you, Zach, for letting us know that. And he said he didn't know Mike White was Danny's brother. Yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
I tell you, the other thing that really, and again, it's why Danny White deserved the raise that he got. It's not just that they're all winning. He has accumulated fantastic coaching talent and got them all to buy in that it is everybody together moving forward. So, you know, you see Rick Barnes with Tony Vitello. You see Rick Barnes with the soccer coaches. You see Rick Barnes with Josh Heupel. You know, we had the story that came out a few weeks ago where Josh Heupel just calls Rick Barnes and says, "Hey, I need to spend some time with my son. Can we get in the gym and shoot for a little bit?" And Rick Barnes, you know, he's always going to accommodate that. And, you know, tonight during the game, Kelly Harper was front row with all of her team cheering on the basketballs. Danny White's in the stands with his kids. Chancellor Plowman is at everything. I don't know when that woman sleeps.
She's very impressive as a chancellor.
It is unbelievable, the continuity and the cohesion that exists on the Hill right now. It's just mind-blowing. And I have to think that it's all coming from Dondi Plowman and Danny White. You know, they have set the tone that this is who Tennessee is, and everybody's jumping in that boat.
Yeah, I mean, and Grant Frerking, he was on another podcast mentioning that, you know, it's incredible what happens when the leadership is all moving in the same direction. And that's what we're seeing right now. It's incredible.
I saw a couple of comments today when Danny White's new contract and the dollar amounts were announced. I saw a couple of comments saying, you know, how in the world does an athletic director merit making $2 million a year when the science department chair makes blank? Well, because the science department chair didn't raise $100 million this year. So, you know, people have to live in reality. Danny White is an unbelievable fundraiser. He has gotten all the donors going in the same direction, and he is bringing in obscene amounts of money. And so for him to make $2 million a year, when you look at it percentage wise, based on what he's bringing in, it's pennies.
That's a 98% return on investment in that situation. So
yes,
that's not bad. That's not a bad return on investment. Or no. Hang on. 98% would be
it's a lot more
than 2 million. So it's like a whatever percentage that is. That would be like
it's significantly higher.
Like 1,000 something percent return on investment. Yeah. We're doing some math on the Vol Bros tonight, folks. We're doing some math.
It could be worse. It could be worse. You could be LSU and figure out today that you accidentally paid Brian Kelly an extra $1 million.
Yeah. Zach just said they just don't speak VFL; they live it. Love to see it, but I find it funny that J-Hop will make only $1 more million than the QB. That's pretty good. I like that. That's pretty good. Well, so our next thing. Cool announcement came out today. The orange and white game was announced, and we will show. If you're watching this or listening to an audio podcast afterward, go back and you can see all the stuff we're putting on the screen. The orange and white game. You'll really want to see the last thing I show everybody that happened in a Loyola Chicago game tonight. But the orange and white game got announced. It's April 15th, Saturday, April 15th. You'll notice that it says more details to come because there is not a time yet. That's certainly because they're trying to work out with SEC Network, all the coverage of it, the footage of it. And so all we know for now, April 15th, which I'm actually thrilled that they gave this announcement earlier because actually somebody asked us on YouTube the other night if they had announced a game or a time yet, a day, and they hadn't at that point. And I said, but be looking. Normally it's in, next few weeks. And I figured it'd probably be the beginning of February. Nope, we got it right now. So that's exciting. Gives you some time to plan. So very exciting. April 15th. Another thing happened today. The Lady Vols got a commitment from an 8th grader. Now, before you think, wait, were you turning into Lane Kiffin taking commitments from 8th graders and stuff? Rustin, why don't you explain this particular commitment?
So weirdly, this is actually the second 8th grader in a week that's committed to Tennessee. Tony Vitello earlier this week accepted a commitment from an 8th grade shortstop. Now, if you go watch that kid, he is an absolute freak of nature who looks like he's about 16 or 17 and plays like it. And Tony clearly wanted to lock that kid down before he got into the recruitment cycle. But today's signing is a very different one. So Finley Chastain is in Texas. She is the top-rated 8th grader in America. But I saw one analyst today who said she's the best player in America at any age. As an 8th grader, she is a 5'11" left-handed
8th grade through high school.
Right. She is a 5'11" left-handed point guard who plays like a high school senior already. And I saw another analyst today who covers women's college basketball and the WNBA, who said if there was ever a high school girl who could jump straight to the WNBA, it's Finley Chastain. This girl is in the 8th grade. There have been comparisons to Sue Bird. Every school in America wanted this girl because she is a generational talent and she will be an absolute game changer that you can win national championships with. And for her as an 8th grader to say, my relationship with Kelly Harper is so strong that I'm going to go ahead and end this now and just go ahead and commit and enjoy high school and not have to worry about the recruitment process, speaks volumes to the relationship Kelly Harper built. But I'm not exaggerating, folks, when I say if this girl doesn't get any better over the next 4 years, if she just stays right where she is right now, she will still be one of the best signees in the last 20 years for the Lady Vols. If you don't believe me, go watch the video. It is unbelievable how well this girl plays. And she, again, when national analysts who cover women's basketball all the time are saying that this 8th grader is the best high school player in America at any age, that speaks volumes. And all you have to do is turn on the video and watch. She is a 1 in a million generational talent.
It was interesting you mentioned that Sue Bird thing. So I saw one tweet where somebody was comparing her to Sue Bird, and they said she's like Sue Bird except 2 inches taller.
Right.
And Zach just asked a good question. He said, so she won't be at Tennessee till 2027, correct? And that's
Correct.
exactly right. She is class of 2027. So it's going to be a while till she gets there.
There's always the possibility. There's always the possibility she could finish high school early and reclassify and get there in 26. But yes, the fact it's just an amazing thing, though. The fact that Kelly Harper was able to nail that down and eliminate the recruitment all through high school, because I'm not exaggerating when I say every college in America had offered this girl.
Yep.
She is a 1 in a million. This is a girl that will be an absolute game changer in college.
So that's exciting on the horizon. That's exciting. Speaking of Lady Vols, tomorrow night they play UConn at 8:00 in Thompson Bowling Arena. College Game Day will actually be having a special show tomorrow for this game. Clearly, I mean, the history in this rivalry goes back a long, long time. And so this is going to be a fun, exciting game. I think it's great for the Lady Vols that they get UConn at home. What do you think about this game tomorrow night?
How about Gino trying to downplay it? Did you see his quote yesterday that the atmosphere will be like a circus, but not the Beatles? He tried to make it sound like it'd be an intense place, but nothing they hadn't seen before, and it won't be overly crazy.
That's typically a great strategy with Tennessee fans, is to mildly
Right.
insult them before you play them. That never like agitates them or makes them be louder ever. So that was probably a good strategy. Then College Game Day is hanging around for Saturday as the Vols play Texas at 6:00 p.m. So really a cool thing here. We got 2 rounds of College Game Day on campus in Knoxville this week. As we mentioned in our last podcast, Brian Rice confirmed that Tennessee is the only school in America to have College Game Day make appearances for football, basketball, or men's basketball and women's basketball. They're the only school that has that. Not just in the same year, period. So Tennessee, after tomorrow, will be the only school in the history of College Game Day from all, any ESPN sport that they cover. They'll be the only school that had College Game Day show up for football, men's basketball, and women's basketball. And the cool thing is, it wasn't all over the course of 20-something years. It happened all in the same year, which is incredible. We need to adopt the Tom Petty song. We won't back down. So, I mean, that's awesome that they're showing up all 3 days. That's really cool. To end our show tonight, we got a couple of this is just it blows my mind what you're about to see. I'm going to show you the tweet.
Hang on, before you get to that, I do think we need to temper expectations for Saturday. People are gonna assume that because we're ranked higher and because Texas lost their head coach, that if we just show up and do what we should, that we're gonna win that game. But let me tell you, that's gonna be a rock fight.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, Texas scares me. They are the type of team that does everything we don't like. They will pound it inside. They will fight with us, but then they'll kick it back out. And if they get open looks, they don't miss.
Well, I mean, think about the Kentucky game. It became an extremely physical game, and we saw the result. That's going to be a physical game. So,
but they can shoot. That's the difference between them and Kentucky. When they kick it back out, it's in. They don't miss. Yeah. So,
I mean, there's a reason they're a top 10 team. I mean, they're a good squad.
They beat Oklahoma State last night, and they shot 65% from 3.
Okay, that's not good. If you're shooting 65% from three, and see, that's the thing tonight. I mean, tonight Georgia shot 29% from the floor. You're not going to win a game in college basketball shooting 29% from the floor. This is not going to happen. Tennessee shot 42%, which is good. If you're shooting 65% from three, that's crazy. I mean, that's insane.
They don't take a lot of them. They were 9 of 13, but they don't miss. They do a great job of pounding the ball inside, and then when the defense collapses, they kick it out, and they do not miss. And we don't do well with teams like that.
Yep. Okay. So tonight, if you haven't seen the tweet yet, I'm going to show it to you now. This is hilarious. Tonight, during the game, like the game was happening on the court, and they had to stop play because an Uber Eats guy walks out onto the court trying to deliver, of all things, McDonald's to somebody at the game. So he's carrying a McDonald's bag. Rustin said maybe Jeremy Pruitt or somebody ordered.
We all know where this is going.
And so I'm going to show you. They stopped the game, and you won't be able to hear the audio on this, but you'll have to go back and go to our Twitter page, find this tweet, and listen to the announcers. They're cracking up. They can't believe it. They're like, wait, we're trying to get confirmation. Is that an Uber Eats sticker on that? It is an Uber Eats sticker on that bag. I mean, like, it's hilarious. But you'll see right here, this is after the game has been stopped. And they go back and they look at a replay to see if the guy had walked on the court. And sure enough,
it's amazing to me that he wandered out that far, and the security staff at Duquesne University should all be fired.
Yeah, for real.
How on earth did that guy get that far out on the court during play with a bag of food?
I've never seen anything like that ever.
And what's amazing is, if you watch him, what's amazing is he doesn't see a problem with it. Like, he's genuinely trying to deliver this. Now, kudos to Uber Eats. Like, this is the most diligent Uber Eats delivery man ever. He is not going to back down. Look at him. He's like, I don't care if y'all are playing basketball. I got to give somebody their McNuggets. I got a Pruitt. Is there a Pruitt? I got Jeremy Pruitt. Is there a Pruitt here? I got McDonald's for a Jeremy Pruitt.
Oh, man. And that's my thing. Like, okay, let's try to get in the mindset of the Uber Eats guy. Why are you thinking you're delivering it to somebody who's on the court at the moment playing? Like, they're not ordering from the court, and I hope they're not ordering from the bench. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I've got something here for one of these guys out here on the court. Might be an official, actually. But come to find out, somebody was tweeting about it while it was happening. Yeah. And the person that it was delivered to, of course, who knows? It may not even been that person's food. If it was somebody on the court, they weren't going to claim it. That's for sure. And so the guy, whoever it was up in the stands, they end up putting him on the Jumbotron in the arena that he got his I just want to watch it one more time because it cracks me up. I mean, this is hilarious. I've never seen this.
Uber Eats should give that guy a raise. Because he's even better than the post office. Rain nor sleet nor snow didn't matter. He was delivering that Big Mac. What's even better now that I see it again, he actually makes eye contact with the referee. And I'm dying to know if he asked the ref if he knew who ordered it.
He was almost out to the 3-point line on the court. I mean, like, what in the world? So you're right. Uber Eats should give that guy a raise because he just made them millions of dollars in free advertising.
Oh,
but at the same time,
how
in the world is that guy not fired?
ESPN for the next week, Uber Eats can't possibly put a dollar amount on the amount of times that's going to be on television for the next week.
I mean, it's hysterical. And once again, why in the world is he walking onto the court? Well, you know what? Maybe he thought, if I walk on the court, whoever's in this arena that ordered it, I'll find him then.
It's easier to see me. I've got to get to a place of high visibility.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. That is something that I did not expect to see tonight. It cracked me up. Well, last thing.
All right, DoorDash, it's up to you now.
Yeah. So Volsteak said, "What now, Uncle Lou? I'm sure he was going to rip us Tennessee fans over basketball, but now he can't." So Lou Holtz, you talking about Lou Holtz, Volsteak? Is that who you're talking about?
I'm not following that one.
Maybe Lou Holtz. I'm missing that one. That's my fault. I'm not. I think Lou Holtz. Maybe we'll wait for him to let us know in the comments. The last thing tonight, we're going to give a little. We give credit where credit is due, and kudos are deserved by Drew Pember. Drew Pember was a scholarship player at Tennessee, transferred to UNC Asheville. Drew Pember scored 48 points tonight with 12 rebounds and hit 8 threes. He was 8 of 10 from 3. Dude, I don't care what you're playing. If you score 48 points in a Division I basketball game, that's a night right there. And so kudos, Drew Pember. Yep. Shout out from the Vol Bros, man. You rocked it tonight.
The pride of Knoxville. Drew's having a heck of a year. He's leading his team in scoring, and UNCA is having a great year. They're 16-6. Drew's almost averaging a double-double. He's averaging 19 points and 9.5 rebounds. Having just a fantastic season.
Oh, so see, I learned something tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
Uncle Lou's a YouTuber. He's a Georgia fan, always bashing Tennessee. Well, I appreciate that very much. You taught me something tonight.
This was a bad night for that gentleman.
Yeah. Uncle Lou had a rough one tonight.
Bet he did not
29 points.
Reaction show.
Yeah, he did not do that. That's for sure. He went to bed a little early maybe tonight because that was a rough night for Uncle Lou. I appreciate that, Vol Steak. I learned something tonight. Well, hey, speaking of traveling and basketball, our sponsor tonight is this lady right here. That is Ginger Marvelous Mouse Travels. I got their shirt on right now. I'm married to her. And so she is a free travel agent. That's her website, gingermt.com. She books Disney, Universal, Sandals, and Beaches resorts. And so it's totally free to use her. You can find her link at gingermmt.com. You can check out her videos on YouTube. It's free because people don't know this, but vendors actually build in the price of a travel agent in their commission. And so if you just book it on your own, you're actually paying for a travel agent and you're not even using one. And then they just pocket the money that they were going to give to the travel agent. So you're paying for a travel agent whether you use one or not if you go to any of those places I just mentioned. So her service is free. And then because it's free to you, it's very sneaky by the vendors. You're exactly right. So she can help you for free, and then they just give her the commission that you're paying anyways, that they've already built into the price. So check her out, man. She's an awesome lady. I like her. And her agency is actually
get that sponsorship. She made you work for that thing.
Well, and you'll notice the diamond here. That's because her agency is a diamond level agency with both Universal and Disney. They might be the only, I don't know, but they might be the only one. I know they're the highest selling agency in the country for Universal. So they're rocking it, man. So check them out. But hey, check out volbros.com. We got big orange hoodie on there. A lot of stuff. I'm actually going to upload a design probably tomorrow. I got one coming. It says like go big and then orange through it. It's pretty cool. So I'll be uploading that tomorrow. But we appreciate all y'all joining us tonight, man. What a night for the Vols. Good grief. Just dominant night. Georgia, obviously compounded the problem because they couldn't hit water if they jumped out of a boat tonight. But after the first 10 minutes of the game. But kudos to the Vols for the defensive effort, man. It was a beautiful, beautiful evening of basketball in Thompson Bowling Arena if you're a Vols fan. So we hope everybody will join us. We're going to go live Saturday night. We hadn't talked about it yet, but Rustin, you want to go live Saturday night?
Sure.
Yeah, because I mean, like it's going to recap what happens tomorrow night with the Lady Vols and what's going to happen Saturday night against Texas. So I mean,
win or lose.
Yeah, it's a. That's right. We won't pull an Uncle Lou and not show up. If we don't come out on top Saturday, but hopefully they will. I mean, hey, anytime you got a top 10 matchup, that's a game right there. That's a game that all eyes will be on. So no wonder College Game Day is going to be there. Top 10 matchup. That's the stuff right there. Thompson Bowling Arena will be rocking.
And we're going to make another surprise announcement Saturday, right?
Oh, absolutely we are. All right, so we've already, we Rustin and I, when we first started doing this, we both started, we have like a podcast idea document that we share, Google Doc. And on it, we started putting on there people who we love to have on the show someday. At some point, we're like, we got to have these folks on the show. Well, one of them was Coach Lance Decker, and he's already been on the show. And if you hadn't seen that, you can go back and find it out. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description of this video to watch Coach Lance Decker. But there's another guy that we've been wanting to have on here, and we got him. And so we're super pumped. That's going to be next Friday when we record that. And so Saturday night, we'll announce that one. And we'll probably light it up on Twitter with him too that night. That'll be a good night to do that. So super excited about that. We hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And go Vols. Go Vols, baby. Rustin, you want to say any last thing?
No, I just hope we come out and play the way we're capable of Saturday. And it's a great night. If the Lady Vols, man, imagine if the Lady Vols can upset UConn tomorrow night in a packed house that's just electric, and then game day shows up Saturday morning, all day Saturday, Thompson Bowling's rocking. The Vols come out and play the way they're capable of and just wax Texas. What would that city be like on Saturday night? I mean,
pandemonium.
Tony Vitello will have to be restrained. Like someone will have to put him on house arrest.
Yeah. Pandemonium, baby. Pandemonium. Well, hey, we appreciate all you all so much. We'd love it if you subscribe to our channel. We're inching ever closer to 1,000 subscribers. So that'd be awesome if we reach that pretty soon. That's awesome. So we appreciate you guys so much. Zach, totally agree. Tennessee Bama game will be epic. Totally agree. It sure will. So we appreciate you all. Everybody have a great evening, and we'll see you guys Saturday night. Bye, everybody.